Tyler from Aspire Sports, and I'm going to be giving you my Week 9 buy and sell players. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the first one here is going to be Lamar Jackson. I think right now Lamar Jackson is obviously a really good buy low candidate. I don't really like to buy quarterbacks that much, but if you're going to try and go out there and you need one, I think he's, prime example of a buy low candidate right now. He played Pittsburgh, not a good game, had 4 turnovers, but still had 16 points, right? That's still a really good fantasy day. Gets Indianapolis next week. Not a good matchup. So maybe you have that fantasy manager out there who's probably playing somebody else if they have him. And I think this is a really good opportunity to try to buy low on him. See what. Now, obviously, I wouldn't pay crazy. In all of these, you got to think about the price. What makes sense? And if you need help, Aspire Sports is here to help you at Aspire Sports _ we'll help you out. So I think he's in a good spot. Talk to that manager out there, see what he's thinking, and I would definitely try because we've seen his ceiling. We know what he's capable of. So let's go. The next person here is going to be Ezekiel Elliot. And Ezekiel Elliot, yes, I know. Why would you want to buy into this offense right now? As you can see, he's been heavily involved. Yes, the 12 carries, not much, but he's also seeing a lot of targets. He's seeing like RB1 touches. It hasn't translated to great points, but also we have Andy Dalton come back. You have Pittsburgh this upcoming week. I've seen some crazy things on Twitter so far of people saying, "Hey, should I offer this for Zeke?" And it's like, if you're going to be giving up that little for Zeke, I will take Zeke all day long. Yes, I don't think the situation is great, but I do think this offense starts to get a little bit better when Andy Dalton comes back, not this week, but going forward. So me personally, yes, I would definitely buy Zeke for what people are throwing out there right now. You didn't draft Zeke in the top 5. You'll be getting him from somebody that invested that draft capital in him. Right now, it's not much that you would have to offer. It's really not that much. I think that you'll be able to get him. Some people are like, I need to get Zeke for something. So yes, go and try to buy Zeke from that manager. Next person is going to be Joe Mixon. Not now, past 2 weeks, Joe Mixon owners, I'm one of them. Big man crush on Joe Mixon. But fantasy managers have seen Giovanni Bernard put up RB1 numbers. Pretty disappointing. Has a foot injury going into buy, so I think this is a good spot to try to buy low on him. Maybe that fantasy manager can't really wait any longer, so this is kind of a good opportunity. Was seeing crazy amount of work prior to the injury. We'll come off that injury, which is like a 2-week injury. We'll come off of the bye, I think, pretty fresh, ready to go, and has pretty good matchups. Yes, he plays Pitt twice, but the other games are really easy games. So I love him going forward, and I would definitely try to go and buy low if the price is right. If the price is right, though. The next one would be Diontae Johnson. Obviously, I'm a Steelers homer, but Diontae Johnson was seeing a 30% target share. I mean, prior to the last week in the games that he played. Yes, this past week wasn't great. He had an injury, I guess, at the beginning of the game. They kind of talked about it. I think it was like a groin or something. So he's a little bit limited. He still looked he looked good. There were some pass interference calls, some balls that could have went his way. Yes, I know it was only one catch, not the best, but this is a guy who honestly, like, he's such a good route runner, and this offense going forward. I mean, look at their schedule. They play so many bad teams. So this is going to be somebody who, with Chase Claypool on the other side, just really dynamic. This offense is going not even playing that well. I think it's going to get even better, especially against these teams coming up. So yes, buy low. I think right now you could probably get him for, like, some people probably look at him as a wide receiver 2. He's a wide receiver 1. So go try to buy him for that price tag with the potential of, like, high upside wide receiver 1, because that's what he was. That's the target share that he was seeing. So yes, I would try to go out and buy. Next person, it's going to be DJ Moore. The DJ Moore last week kind of had this disappointing week. This is my take on the situation. Everybody goes and looks at these analysts from ESPN. I'm not saying I'm a expert by any means, but everybody thinks that all these guys know everything. Yes, they research it a lot, but a lot of it's just guessing. sorry to burst your bubble. It's a lot of guessing here. You could say he's going to be great and he doesn't do well. Oh well. But DJ Moore, everybody was like, oh, go out and sell high, sell high. So I think you're going to get managers out there that are going to think, well, now I missed my opportunity. I got to try to sell him. I should have sold high last week. So this is where you come in and say, hey, I mean, I'll take him. Yeah, he didn't look too good last week, but when last week it was Teddy Bridgewater who was under pressure. DJ Moore was open a lot if you go back and watch that game film. He is a very good player who right now I feel like some people view him as like a low end wide receiver 2 when really he's a high upside wide receiver 2, wide receiver 1. So I would go out and try to buy him for that price. Let's go to the next person. That's going to be another DJ Chark. Quarterback change. He wasn't healthy for the first, like basically the first half of the season here. He was on the injury report every single week. There was, I think, maybe 2 weeks. I know 1 week he didn't practice at all. Played the game, was doubtful, but ended up playing. Wasn't very effective in that game. I'm pretty sure it was against Houston. So this is somebody who's been banged up. I believe in the talent 100%. Maybe this change from the quarterback makes him a little bit better here. At least I hope so. So this is somebody I would try to go out and buy. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter that are like, should I drop DJ Chark? No, you shouldn't. So if you have some managers out there that are thinking about possibly dropping him, that means you can get him for really cheap. So 100% go out and buy. Jonnu Smith. Now, tight end really hasn't been great this year. It's kind of an ugly position where you just have it or you don't have it. You have Kelsey or everybody else, especially after the George Kittle news. So basically, you have Kelsey or Waller, and that's about it. Everybody else is like a hit or miss. Yes, the past couple of games, past 3 games have not been good for him, but you want somebody who can be lights out. And he's shown that he can be a very good tight end, and it just hasn't been happening the past few weeks. Hopefully, he figures it out. So I would go out, look at the managers that have him, possibly think about switching up the tight end to a different tight end, maybe off of waivers like a Eric Ebron. So me personally, go out, see if he's available, try to buy. And I can already hear the boos here. These are my sells. Okay, I can hear the boos. But Patrick Mahomes is a sell. I had to pick somebody at the quarterback position. So to me, Patrick Mahomes makes the most sense. He's coming off his best game against the Jets. 400 passing yards, 5 touchdowns. Yes, do I think that's going to happen? We've seen him have that crazy year not last year, the year prior to that, the crazy year. He's capable of insane numbers. But I also think that trying to stream the position and like selling Mahomes for like a wide receiver 1, running back 2 or something, like somebody would probably give that up because it's Patrick Mahomes. And I think you could get that value. And I think having those guys and then trying to stream the position is much more valuable than having Mahomes, in my opinion. I much rather try to play like a Drew Lock this week who plays Atlanta and have those kind of guys on my roster, especially with all the injuries. That's just what I would do. Now, do you get that? I don't know. But you could definitely find somebody out there and a fantasy manager that would be willing to give up a lot for Patrick Mahomes, especially somebody that wanted him in the draft and maybe missed him. So 100% for me, sell high, except in 2 quarterback leagues. I would not sell him. Let's go to Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley is another person. I talked about him last week. Todd Gurley, look at these past couple of weeks here. Right now, he's averaging 2.5 yards per carry in his past 3 games. He's on pace right now for over 300 touches. So you have a guy who had arthritis in his knee, still has arthritis in his knee. Yes, he's seeing red zone work, which is the only positive here because everything else has really been ugly these past 3 weeks. Like I said, on pace for 300 touches. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think he's going to get more efficient? No, he's going to start facing harder defenses. So me, 100% try to sell as high as you can right now before the bye week. I would do it this week before he goes into bye. I would try to buy, honestly, like a wide receiver 1. I think you'd be able to try to swing it. This is your opportunity. Don't wait till it's too late. Let's go to the next one, and that's going to be Jonathan Taylor. Obvious choice here. This is the opportunity because it's only going to get lower from here. Me personally, he has not been impressive at all. Cannot break tackles. Doesn't make people miss this year. He's been a pretty big bust. He's basically Trent Richardson is what he is. So I think things only get worse. They say that they want to go back to running back by committee, which it basically has been, but it's going to get worse because Jordan Wilkins looked like the better running back. So yes, try to sell as high as you can, because I think some people are going to be like, I think you could probably work it out. And it's not. It's going to only get worse. So try to sell high as you can right now. The next person would be Cooper Kupp. And Cooper Kupp, as you can see, his games haven't really been that good. 2 really good games, coming off of 21 targets. That's insane. That's an insane target share there. I said it before the game. He had a very, very good matchup against Needham in the slot, one of the worst slot corners in the league. Crushed him. In the third quarter, though, he did come down on his wrist and was in obvious pain. And if you go look at the Fantasy Doctor, he's on YouTube, has his own channel, really good, does analysis of injuries and everything, talks about this and is kind of worried for the future here because the adrenaline and everything kind of kept him in the game. After that point, wasn't really, he was still had a good game, but was definitely in pain, was favoring that wrist. So I don't think that the Rams are really going to say much because they have a bye week this week. So I think right now would be a really good time to go and sell as high as you can on him, because what if something does happen where he does miss a couple of games here? News starts to break that maybe this injury is a little bit more serious. Maybe it ends up being nothing, but as you can see, he's coming off his best game, so still a really good sell high candidate. And that injury makes it even a little bit more pressure, like puts more pressure on you to do it now. I would personally do it as soon as you can. Next would be Mike Evans, coming off a decent game here on Monday night, had a touchdown. I think Godwin's already been officially ruled out for this New Orleans game, but now you have AB coming. And yes, Godwin is going to come back. Still has his bye week here. So, me personally, this is the time to sell, because I think with fantasy managers knowing that Godwin is not going to play in this game, I think this is a really good opportunity to sell high on Mike Evans, because he's probably going to have a decent game in this upcoming game. So managers would probably be more inclined to buy him now. This is your last chance. I'm telling you, go out, sell him right now. I think you'll get decent value. So the last one would be tight end, but you're not selling, like Kelsey or Darren Waller. Don't sell any tight end right now. You got to keep who you got. Obviously, if you want to try to make a deal for one of these tight ends, you can try, but it's probably not going to happen. If somebody gives up Kelsey, they're crazy, because he's a stud, best tight end right now at the position. George Kittle's out for season probably. What I would do, and this is where you got to play chess with trading, I would go in, put a claim in for the top tight end this week that's on waivers, then get that tight end, try to sell your tight end to the George Kittle owner. Pick up some values, pick up some pieces for that player that you just got for nothing, right? These are the things that keep you ahead in fantasy. You got to think like 2 steps ahead of your competition. So put in that claim, try to get that tight end, try to sell that tight end or your tight end, whatever the case may be, and get some pieces going forward. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching. If you do enjoy this content, please like and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. We'll be live on Sunday. Our Sunday show, I think, is really good, so check it out. Any start and sit questions you may have, any questions about football, feel free to ask, and we'll be releasing new content throughout the week. So thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.